Live from the city of Los Angeles. It is 9/19, which means that's September 19th, 2022. What is really good? We're in the beautiful city of Los Angeles. Man, it's that time for the weekly tap in. I'm your host, Duane Cofield, Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. This is the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. What is good, fam? We moving along, man. This is really exciting that we get the support that we do. Those who are watching us on the lives, those who are watching us on all of our platforms, we salute you and thank you. We couldn't do it without your support. So make sure you guys put your comments where you're tapping in from in the comments. Those who are listening on the replay or listening on the podcast, make sure you leave a review, man. We've been getting a lot of reviews, man. We're up to I think like 38 or 39 on iTunes. That's fantastic. Keep it coming. We certainly appreciate the love and support. We'll continue to deliver what we need to deliver. We'll put that in the chat. I know we're a little late, but I try to give you guys time. Those who are watching football, I'm like, man, let me give you guys a little time for that. I definitely don't want to distract you from any of that, but we got something good, man. This is episode number 27. Change is inevitable. Be water. And yeah, I'm hitting you guys with a little bit of Bruce Lee, a little bit of that. But if you guys haven't heard the Be Water, it's really interesting. I will talk about it, right? And I'm obviously I'm a paraphrase. I'm not going to necessarily. What's going on, Sammy? Appreciate you tapping in, man. As always, man. It's love, man. Appreciate that. But Be Water. If anybody knows, man, put it in the chat. But it's dope what he talks about, and it basically adapt to your environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about water, right? Water doesn't necessarily complain about being cold, it just becomes ice, right? And when water gets hot, it doesn't complain about being hot. It boils, evaporates, and then comes back down somewhere else. What's going on, family? Appreciate that. Memphis in the building. Appreciate you, fam. What's going on? But it doesn't know. So it just adapts to whatever it becomes. And one of the things that I learned about that whole Be Water thing is even when you think about water and the penetration, right? It creates valleys, right? It cuts through rock. Something dripping long enough, right, will penetrate stone. So think about how to become water, right? Stay persistent, be adaptable, right? You're not necessarily staying in one state. You're looking at things differently, right? You're okay. What do I need to become to what's going on, Steven? What do I need to become to navigate this environment? What do I need to become? Because I should be flexible in anything. And a lot of times you'll hear cats talking about, oh man, I'm keeping it real. I'm the same cat. Well, I got a shot. And I'm pretty sure many of you guys have. Anybody's grown up somewhere. I grew up in San Diego, right? So I go down there sometimes. But it's changed. It's different. It's not the same, right? And you go back thinking things are going to be exactly the way they were, same people going to be in the same places. And that's not happening. And if it is happening, is that okay? And I'm posing that question to you guys. If some of the things are exactly the same as they were when we were kids and when we were growing up, is that cool? Right? Is that and I'll get back to the water. You guys are interested in my Bruce Lee stuff, right? But think about that, right? Is that okay to be the same? Still the same. Like he 40 got a song talking, Mom, still the same, still the actually he's not. Right? And you shouldn't be either. So um one of the things about life is it's constantly changing, right? And we often go back trying to chase things that inevitably are different. The game, we got that a lot in the game, right? We wanted to, what's going on, South Georgia checking in? Appreciate you, buddy Lee. We got that a lot in the game. We came back trying to be something that it's different now, right? We can't even be the same type of hustlers. We look weird, like older cats my age, when we go trying to hang around these youngsters, when the game has changed on us. It's changed on us, dog. We look crazy sometimes when, trying to do that, right? And I know we feel crazy. It's not even so much of looking crazy, it's just that feeling like, man, damn, what am I doing? Right? We should be moving along, right? We should become sage, right? That advice, hey man, we doing this now. I'm glad Jay-Z changed, right? Because if Jay-Z would have stayed the same, man, Some of us that were listening to that might not have changed either, but he got married, had kids, balled even harder, right? He's not the same person. His rap is not the same, right? Appreciate that tuning in from the highway, man. Appreciate the love, brother. As always, homie. You guys always, man, y'all show mad love, and I appreciate that, man. But think about that. Who's the same? Right? Even cooking ain't the same. We go to restaurants, and man, I'm gonna take you to the spot, man. Da, 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 da. And they change something. It's a spot in downtown LA. Cook fish, right? They changed the cocktail sauce. And we got to be adaptable, right? When we're rigid, what happens, man? We snap and break, right? So we need to be like water. Well, we go around, right? What does water do? When water sees an obstacle, it goes around, it goes over. It I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It may stop for a minute, but the buildup is crazy, right? Eventually it's it's going to dominate or leak or something like that and explode. Water's persistent. Water doesn't sit there and wonder. It just keeps going, keeps flowing. And that's what we need to become. Same thing, man. We need to be fluid, not rigid. Adapt to our environment. What environment am I in? If I already adapted to it and it's not serving me a purpose anymore, then I need to change. If I'm getting bad energy will cost you, homie. Bad energy would cost you. And if you got that intuition, like I know you do, many D boys have, especially the ones that are alive to this day, you got that intuition. You know when bad energy's around you. I felt it, homie. Man, it's just bad energy. I think when old boy that got killed in LA, right? The PNB rock. He talked about that on with academics. I just felt the energy, man. These cats was da. And that's that sixth sense. That's God talking to you. A lot of times, if we think we don't have the intuition, that's God nudging. Hey, homie, pay attention. These cats is on some other shit. Listen, time to put your antennas up, right? But that bad energy, it can come in a lot of different ways. Something happens to somebody throughout the day, right? You just got to bounce away from it, man. Go connect with your source. And I know I'm going high, like, man, but I tell you what, I saw something today that solidified that. There was a little boutique on Manchester and Crenshaw. It's called Sabrak Boutique. Shout out to that, man. I remember she had that boutique when I was working at the radio station. And she would always be talking about positive energy, the law of attraction, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, what? What's up, Z Boss? See you home, boy. Um, and I'm like, damn, man, and I dug it. I'm like, I'm with this, but is it gonna last? And she believed in it. She believed in it. Lo and behold, she's there. How long ago I worked that radio station? Probably what, 12 years. She's still there and got a bigger sign. So not only is she thriving, she's really thriving. And this is way before she even knew the stadium was coming. So she's right down the street from the stadium too. But I'm like, man, that belief got her where she is, homie. Right? Thinking about my homeboy today, homie. I was like, man, tripping out. One of my partners is on the radio. Shout out to my dog Dotamichi, man. So I'm sitting there, we going to get the car. We had a bunch of repair work we had to do today. Me and my son, how we rolling. My mom, she's gonna help drive the other car because I gotta go take her to the shop. I'm in one of the cars. So I'm like, man, I was just thinking about the homeboy. I said, man, you know what? My partner be looking out, man. He shared our chicken fry this weekend. I said, man, and he always looks out. I said, let me turn him on because I always listen to him every day. Let me turn it on. So I'll turn it on, and they go on a commercial break. They come out of commercial break, and I turn it up, and I'm like, man, I heard that voice before. So my dude is playing. I got a video talking about when nothing works. If you ever see it, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's on the YouTube channel, but it's like a little 60-second. And my dude played it and gave me a shout out on the radio, this and that today. And my mom was sitting there, my son was sitting there. I'm like, damn, I just record that. You just tripping out. But it just goes to show you how you can think something into existence, right? When you had good thoughts and good feelings and good vibes about somebody, they'll pop up. And out of nowhere, right? I wasn't expecting that from him, right? And he probably, and whenever he gives me a shout out, I immediately text him because I'm like, man, homie, I heard it. And a lot of cats wouldn't hear it because they wouldn't be supporting supporting him anyways. If you was his homeboy, you might be listening. Like I'm his homeboy. I'm gonna listen every day, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh man, hey homie, I heard when y'all was da 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 da." So I'm not looking for a shout out at all, but he always be looking out, and I just want to give him a shout out for that because it was just thought that brought him into existence. So excuse me, man, goodness, but it was thought that brought that into existence. And that's what you need to be thinking about a lot of times, man. We got to be thinking about and be careful with our thoughts. We're not really paying attention to it. We get into this drift of nonsense, of high expectations, right? This is where the rigidity comes in, right? We're not being fluid like water. This is where we're being, I need it to be like XYZ. Why do you need it to be like XYZ? Because I need that's you planning shit without God. Right? That's you coming out, or you know, like you coming out like you guys is both building a building, right? And then you know how they got the what's going on, family? I see you, AZ tapping in, salute. You know how you at the construction site and they in the bungalows, whatever. That's just like you coming out with all the plans and telling God, man, God, I've been working on this shit all night. Look at my plans. He's like, man. And then you get upset when he like, nah, here's what I suggest what we do, right? And this is why you may not understand why right now. You may think that you're entitled to a blessing immediately right now, but here's why you're not going to get it, right? Here's why I'm not going to give this to you right now. You're going to get it, but here's why you won't receive it right now. Why? There could be a number of reasons. Maybe not mentally prepared for it. Maybe a better time for it. That's a hard one to grasp. Better time for this, right? Oh, when's a better time? I'm broke. Man, chill out. Me may want to see you see what you're gonna do about it. How you gonna handle it? And you keep failing the test, and you keep getting mad. And everything starts to reflect in everything you touch, and you bringing that bad energy around, right? And you wonder why you can't get the return, right? Or you bringing desperation around. I was talking to my son like, "Oh, you chasing your shit away from you." How you gonna be? Well, nah, that ain't the move. We ain't playing desperate. We putting it out there and we let it rock. Whatever happens, right? Because we ain't gonna give it no more bad energy, right? Our energy, we capped out, right? We got our source, so we can always tap in like a solar panel, but we got a amount of energy that we run around with. So we got to be careful how we distribute that shit, man. We can't just give it to everybody and every problem. I'm giving all man. You ain't got that much, right? And God ain't got time to be keep refilling you when you spending energy on BS. Oh man, here he running out of energy again. Yeah, wow, he on some petty shit. Man, wait, you spending all your yeah, man. Tapped out. I paid attention to all these petty things, right? This, man. Knock it off. If you alive and you can handle it, man, that's you boom. Win. Win. Because you can maneuver. Cass, I was talking last night to me and my son talking about Cass I got all day for the neighborhood. Whoa. You did what? And they stopped writing 3 months later? Damn. Game is cold. And they don't know if they ain't got it right, right? They're gonna make that that's more than $1 million mistake. The reason being is because the opportunity cost for you being in the pen is well worth more than $1 million. Because you don't know what God had in store for you, but you chose the wrong path. So I tell Cass all the time, watch the positions you in and the people that put you in those positions. Not just blaming yourself, but man, you hopping in the car, Cass is hot-headed. We got to go to this liquor store. We got to go to this gas station. That's the kind of shit that gets you caught up, right? Just reckless niggas. Excuse my French. But I'm saying though, that's the kind of stuff you got to be key on your P's and Q's for, and you hope and pray that you can get that to your kids. Let me teach you at least this. Watch situation. Situational awareness is something else that everybody's not equipped with. Paying attention in your environment, stuff like that, keep you safe, right? Oh boy, I'm like, man, I don't really like to speak on it because that's the situation. But that seemed like, people you come into place, man, these places be plotting on you, man. And how you think credit card shit happens? These people be at credit. They oh, let me hold your credit card, take a picture, swipe it, you dum dum, $5,000, $10,000 charges. So I'm not saying that people work there. I'm just saying, like, that parking lot is hella shady. People be around lurking, so you don't want to go up in there. If you do, get and go. I used to get my gizzards from there, so all the time when I used to live in Rancho. So I would be leaving Inglewood, I go up Manchester, and I go right to that same Roscoe's. So I know who's in there. I know who worked there. Everything is hood. I'm just saying, homie. Just you got to be aware. Situational awareness is real. So you gotta, and that's what thing about D boys. These cats ain't D boys, right? They knew they learned they just getting a lot of money and they going around stunting with jewelry and didn't know how to ride around with 4.5 or 5, 6,000 bucks. You know what I'm saying? But you pick up that stuff in the game. So even that small amount of money, it teaches you how to hit corners and shake police and tails and watch who's watching you and make sure you're paying attention to every car that's in the lot and you got to be on your P's and Q's. This ain't, Disneyland. And even Disneyland, you better watch out for Mickey's ass. You know what I'm saying? This is LA. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So and that's this go with everywhere. AZ, Vegas, man, all that, man, do it out, try it out there and see what happens. Same Tennessee, Texas. It's not just out here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I guess people make the assumption that it's all palm trees, but it's hitters out. It's hitters everywhere. It's lunatics everywhere, but it's also beautiful places everywhere. So you can look at the dog shit in the park if you choose to, or you pay attention to the lakes and the swamps. It's still the same park, right? So just choose and pick where you how you move, right? And you got to move different, right? You can't move to I'm hood. Let me go check in, man. Man, you might want to go to Calabasas with that partner. Change is okay, right? We're talking about that, right? If you see the resistance come, go around that shit. We don't have time to argue with resistance. We don't have time to debate that it's resistance. For what? We know it's resistance. Our best move is to see how can we get around that? How can we move? What's I don't take no for an answer. I'm telling you, no, it doesn't exist. Not right now. Not for you. Not here. Not with them. I'll take those, right? But a flat out no, mm, that's me and Ghana. He ain't never came at me like that. He said, not with them, not there, not that, not exactly, kind of, but not there. But he's never told me no. He's giving me everything that I've asked for to see how I was going to handle it. And a lot of times we take it for granted. We don't even recognize the gift as guys, all the gifts that we've asked for. Man, I want the place. I want this and this and that. I need to, man. And we get it and we're like, oh man, I go through that sometimes. Well, I don't even recognize the greatness that God has given me, right? I don't, sometimes you just, because we get to look into the left and to the right, and we really don't know. We have no freaking clue. We're making a hell of an assumption. What's up, John? What's up, Tanisha? I see y'all. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's difficult. So being able to one be okay with that, right? How do I get around things? How do I navigate around them, right? How do I move on? How do I go around it? How do I adapt to my environment? It takes a skill set. Over time, you'll develop that skill, right? It takes a lot of know-how. It takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of, you going through things and being okay to be the only one there or being the first. This is where change really kicks in. Being the first at something, right? Let me try something different. Man, I'm taking my son to a TED talk. First time, right? So I go all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that was new and different for me. That's something that we can invest in. I know homies invest in different things. That's $75, right? But what it's doing is it's stretching your imagination, right? And we're farmers, so we're looking for seeds from anywhere, right? So depending on what kind of fruit you want your life to produce, right? Where are you getting your seeds from? You getting your seeds from legitimate thinkers, right? that are dropping ideas into your your soil? Or you getting trash seeds, cheap seeds, right? Don't produce anything. Produce, minimal fruit. Don't do much for you. So I'm trying to get him over here to these kind of seeds so I can start to see what kind of fruit it produces. The more I expose him to different types of things, right? Change. Let me change. Let me try something different. It's okay to try different things. Tennis, one of the things my wife and I enjoy. We didn't even realize we enjoyed it that much. We play all the time, and we're getting better. And we getting like we just watched the U.S. Open. Now we trying to serve all hard like Coco, smack, right, right. But that's different, and it keeps us together, right? The one of the things you'll see about elderly couples is that they do things together. Couples that stick together do things together. So you got to find more things that you have in common. What can we do together? What can we pick up together? Because then it's us, right? Not what can I go pick up? What can I go try? Nah, 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 nah. Be inclusive. Come on, what can we do together? And that's what you have to do. So sometimes you gotta, and especially if this is something that's been in your family, right? Because a lot of times a lot of our habits and our ways of thinking and just the way things go are passed down. And we think we have to adopt that behavior because, well, my mom or my grandmother or my dad or my grandfather, somebody else started this, so we're gonna keep it going. Everybody afraid to break them all. So nobody's gonna get a PhD for real. So nobody's gonna own a business. Oh, so we just gonna keep this. We just gonna keep this going, huh? We just welfare, whatever. And I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, who's gonna say, nah, man, you know what? Enough of this shit. I'm about to change it. I'm about to change everything up. We about to do something completely different. No, I'm not military fan. No, I'm not going to the military, homie. Right? Nah, I'm about to do something different. I'm deviating. I'm changing this, right? I'm not following in line. And sometimes you have to do that, and it's okay, right? That's fine. You have to change. It's inevitable, right? And we talk about evolution. Charles Darwin. What happened on the Galapagos? You know what I'm saying? You adapt. You have to adapt to your environment, or you won't be anymore. Pay phones, right? You think of Circuit City. We can go on and on about businesses that didn't adapt to their environment. Boom, gone, right? Buffets didn't adapt to their environment. No more buffet. There's probably some now. I'm just saying though. You slow to adapt, man, you're gonna die. I see homies that's still stuck in the 90s, and I'm like, damn, homie, for real? And I understand. I can dig it. I understand that might have been the best time of their lives. I understand. I'm looking forward to mine. I'm not running from age at all. I've done everything, right? Even when I was in radio, I was smacking stuff then, right? I was tearing it up. I was in magazine articles. I was doing all kind of like old videos and stuff. So I'm okay with my matriculation through life, right? I'm okay with that. I need to go on, right? I need to go to the next stage and embrace it, right? And I know okay. You gonna get grades, okay? I'm shit. It is what it is, right? We're not fighting nothing. We water, right? Okay, if it get cold, we just frost up until it tells us otherwise, right? We got to embrace it, right? Whatever's coming, right? We got to be fluid, right? What do they say about one of the reasons why drunk drivers survive is because they don't have control over their body. They're not being rigid, right? They're just fluid. When they get into an accident, they're just like a noodle, so they usually survive. Whereas we're gonna try to be rigid and try to embrace, and that's where it usually goes south. You know what I'm saying? So think about in terms of life, us being rigid. I'm this man. What if somebody tells you otherwise? That's why I'm not really big on religion because I'm like, man, it could change. Man, they can find some other facts. They could this and this and that, and then all belief is out the door. All these years that everybody rock with this, it's out the door. And what is tradition? What is tradition? Let's keep it the same, right? One of the beautiful things about this country and this world is that people are different. That's the beauty of it, right? We got differences, man. That's cool, right? I wouldn't want to be all this. I love my folks, but man, I love Mexican food too. Shit. You know what I'm saying? I love the people. I love the country. So I love Asians. I love I can go on and on. You know what I mean? Africans, it doesn't matter, right? Because I find good in most people. Not all. There's some people out there that you know who you are. Mm-mm-mm. But other than that, man, love. I look at who listens to us around, man, around the world, yo. I'm telling you, right? Around the world, which is crazy to me. So that makes me understand that we're internationally embraced, man. People got the same type of struggles and tribulations in life. Mine might have just been different. Like I told you guys, I got an email from the UK from a hustler out there. So people hustling from all over the world trying to figure it out, man. How do I get out of this? How do I flip this money? What do I do? How do I get in a business? How do I get into school? What you got? You know what I'm saying? Give me some game. Throw me some knowledge, right? Throw me a breadcrumb. Leave me a breadcrumb. Tell me the trail. My trail is mine. I can tell you how it worked for me and that I got started. Like going to Griffith Park. It's like 10 trails there, right? They all lead up to, the certain same point, but shit, you're gonna have to figure out how to get there too. I'll tell you, you're gonna need water. You're gonna need food. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the basics of what you're gonna need, but you're gonna have to pack your bag. You're gonna have to and have faith and realize that you're gonna make it too. That's the important part. Do not tap out. I cannot stress that enough. Quitting is not part of the process. That's not what we're doing anymore. Right? Unless it's something that's not in our best interest. Now you could walk away from that and God will help you pack your bags. He'll be in the car with it on. Trust me. But we're not quitting just because something presents some type of difficulty. We go around it. We figure out what the alternatives are, but we put our best foot forward. And failing is okay too. Failing is not fatal, man. That's another rule that I want to stress, right? Change is inevitable, but failure is not fatal. So it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail fast. It's okay to try a few different things. And it's okay to walk away from it and let it start chasing you. Same way that females and males do each other, right? Too much on your dreams and goals that start to resent you and you start to resent them. So sometimes you need to fall back and there may be a missing piece because sometimes, and I'm reading this more and like I said, I'm listening to cybernetics. Rest is some of the best thing when we're stressing about things, man, go to bed, take a nap, right? It gives you some of the best rest, gets you a fresh mindset so that you can accomplish whatever goal or it is you're trying to accomplish. Because thinking about it, stressing about it only give you ulcers. You know what I mean? And later problems in life. So we don't need to stress about it, man. We need to understand that we're going to change. And if we don't, we're going to break. It's almost like a rubber band, right? We need to be that flexible, but we don't need to be rigid. Once we're rigid, we're going to snap. So we got to embrace change. What's that look like? It can look like a few different things. You thought you were a player, you might have kids now. Embrace change. Now you're going to teacher meetings. Embrace change. You may become a parent teacher officer at the school. Embrace change. This stuff is okay, right? You might thought you was gonna get the Bentley whoopty wham. Embrace the minivan, dog. Got to get your kids to soccer practice, whatever the case may be. Shit happens, things change. It's what you asked for, though, right? I want to be happy out there. You thinking that the Bentley and going to the club is gonna make you okay? Well, your version of what you think is happiness and what I'm about to make you feel are two completely different things. And when you pull up to that soccer or you coming out of the pizza place and the kids all in there and they throwing ice cream and shit all over the window and you just cheesing, that's happiness, right? Stunting on somebody, that's what you think is happiness. But it never ends, right? Watching your kids grow up, not missing anything, that's happiness. So sometimes we gotta force us to change. Most of us sat down, prison, change. You about to change quickly. And we had to adapt to that. You know what I'm saying? We had to adapt to that. And we did a great job at it, right? Most of us took it and Mike Tyson talks about it, man. He said that was the best 3 years of his life. Said peace. I got peace on my mind these days. I mean, but you had 30 million to fight. He said, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't have peace. And that's the one thing that place does for you, man. It shows you all the riffraff, shows you potential. It shows you potential. It's like, hey, man, you could potentially get all day. You see, old boy, he got all day. Okay, him, he got like 10. He's been here for 10 and he's about to go home. Okay, I'm gonna give you all levels to this shit. And it wakes you up. It changes that ass. Or you embrace it. So one of the two. You're either gonna adapt and adjust, or you're gonna be like, oh man, it's me. I'm cool. I like this stuff. You know, me and the guards and what we ever nah, homie. Nah, thank you, but no thank you. And you embrace that, right? And you come home. Change again. The game ain't what it was. Fight game, I'm assuming. We was in there with Freddie Norwood. Anybody remember Freddie Norwood, the boxer? He was on our yard, man. He was coming home. It was crazy, right? But he was coming home. And just watching that, him change, right? I think he got back into boxing. I think he might have won a few fights or whatever. But yeah, the homie was in, I think probably like 2 or 3 months I was there with him. But anyways, long story short, that's another thing. You come out, the game ain't the same. Now it ain't coke, it's speed or whatever the case may be. And he ain't the guy he is. I couldn't stand his ass. Now he the guy. Okay. Whatever, right? And then you just start to realize, man, if I don't adapt, I'm gonna die. I can't do this anymore, right? Basketball, right? I can't go out there and I'm 45 years old, man. I end up popping the cat. Like you got to embrace that, right? So now I do walks. And I used to wonder, why are these dudes walking and hiking and doing, man? Because they ain't out there trying to break their legs, right? They understand who they are, right? And it's okay. Embrace it. I like it better anyway. I get the forest bathe. So it's a good thing for me. If you don't know about forest bathe, then learn about that, man. Them smells, all that are extremely important for your happiness. I promise you, there's a book on it, which is why we like going to Seattle. Really good place to forest bathe. But you can forest bathe out here just with the hike and the trees and that morning dew where you get that smell when you come fresh off a hike. You guys know what I'm talking about. But and that's change for me. Now I do biking, I do hiking, I do, of course, surfing and paddleboarding, but completely different. I used to do basketball, football, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, now I'm doing these different things, and they've expanded me, right? Stretch me, just like the TED Talk, stretch you. That's what that's there for, to plant different types of seeds, meet different people, expand your network, right? Give you ideas on things. I'm telling you, it's powerful, right? And embrace it. Your homies ain't gonna be your homies for life. You're gonna get new friends. They're gonna be some that you rock with for life, but they're gonna be some cats that you meet are solid and later in life, man, this dude's solid. Or whatever. But that's happens and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Embrace it. You know what I mean? And you might start doing different things. Okay, man, we about to go do this. Like I go to TED Talks. I don't know none of my homies that go to TED Talks. I'm trying to get them on it now. Hopefully they start to. In your neighborhood, go look for one. They give you lunch. The one I go to, they give you lunch, breakfast, and then you go hear probably like 8 speakers. It's like the first half, and there's a robotics, 3D robotics dude, a rocket dude. He builds 3D rockets. There's some jugglers. There's a comedian. There's all kind of different stuff, but it just to hear them talk and hear them try to put together thought. One, you never know if you're going to be one of the people that does a TED talk, right? So it's watching over and over again and giving you practice, right? You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. That's okay. And one of the things I've come to terms with is being okay with whether it happens or not, whether it happens to me or not. That's a real big step for me. Whether it happens to me or not, right? And whenever it happens, right? That's a difficult one to embrace because we build our expectations based on a clock, whether it's a biological clock, whether it's a clock on a wall, whatever. We go up based on the calendar. Based on well, such and such did it in this amount of time. I'm at this age. I'm supposed to have X, Y, Z. Really? Okay. Well, such and such did it when by the time he was 20, he had 2 houses. You love to hear them type of stories, right? Love to hear them type of stories, right? Because they make us feel like less than. I'm like, man, I'm embracing my speed, my space, my my gifts that are around me. I'm in the moment, and that's called being present, right? Staying in the moment. I'm right here. I'm loving all this and embracing each step. Welcome and God keep it coming. Because as long as I stay in the lane with you and in contact with current, I'm fine. When I start looking too far into I saw a restaurant. I was like, man, this is another one that's a wake-up call. Saw a restaurant, saw Crenshaw. They got like 3 spots. Saw them opening up a new one. I'm like, damn, we ain't got, you know what I'm saying? First thing you start thinking, man, we ain't got no restaurant. We ain't got. Then I passed by there again today. Toward that they never opened, and now some other thing going there. So you don't know. Here I am making assumption. They about to hook it up. It's about to be popping in there. They about to have a line. Me going already on and on and on, and I ain't even finished. And that's the thing. Like, don't make assumptions. And that's when I got disappointed. Is when I started comparing myself. So who are you comparing yourselves with? You're in your own race, dog. There's nobody else in the race. They don't care if they got simultaneous races going on. That's something different. Like I talked about my analogy with the hike. Everybody's going go on their own hike. Now, when you get there is when you get there. That's that. You know what I'm saying? If we happen to be at the same time, let's toast to success. But other than that, everybody's on their own time clock. Embrace it. Embrace every moment. Stay in the moment. Don't go far behind. Right? Like I told you, when we ride with God, there are no rear view mirrors. None. He doesn't back up. He goes around and over, but he doesn't back up. And that's what I bid to you guys. You can't back up. You got to embrace change, right? Be water. Become whatever your environment dictates you need to become. When we were in the pen, we had to become somebody different. When we go to school, we have to become somebody different. When we teach classes, we got to become somebody different. When we're around our homeboys, our family, when our parents, we got to adapt into a multitude of individuals, right? So saying we're the same person, saying we're exactly the same, should be a lie. Because as we age, we should be growing. There should be levels to you. You shouldn't be having the same conversation that you had 20 years ago. I'm sure not. I mean, I can't even really like my whole language. I went around one of the homies a couple years back when I was still working. I was like, I don't even talk like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And there was no disrespect. It was just I sound corny talking like that because I've switched it up so much. And that's okay. I've changed. My vocabulary has changed. My approach has changed. Everything is completely changed. And you should be too. Be water. Be water. Water's easy. Water chills. Water adapts. If you put ice in there, it'll chill with the ice. If you want it to go freeze, you can make it freeze. You want it to boil. It just has so many different. It goes vapor. Be whatever your environment dictates you should be, but be in the moment, more importantly. That will conclude our weekly tap in for this week, man. I'm still reading my Cybernetics. It is a longer book. So if you guys missed it, make sure you watch the replay of last week. You can see the book of the week. We're still in that. Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It is fantastic. I want to encourage you guys to get the Audible. But other than that, I will wish you all farewell. I will see you all next week. Hopefully, you guys are accomplishing your goals, adapting to change, become water. Leave us a review, more importantly. Subscribe if you guys are watching on YouTube and let a friend know. Tapping out.